Coming to you live from the Temple of Enlightenment on the plane of Theros, this is Tap Tap Concede. I think we're going to run out of existing temples before we know the last two, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely, we are. Because we only have access. We only have access to 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've used.
Well, we have enough land, yeah, but
You're talking about temples.
I was trying to use
within
all the
Theros.
All the Theros temples.
Because we've already used like 4 or 5, I think, haven't we?
Four. That was
Four?
our 4.
That was our
but
4th?
there's other fancy land in Theros.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
there?
No.
No, because we've already used
wait.
Nykthos. I guess.
I guess
we could be like. We could be like coming to you from the unknown shores.
Yeah, exactly.
Hailing from
so
shores
boring.
unknown, it's the Undertaker.
Hailing from unknown shores, it's colorless mana. Not as useful as you'd think.
Unless you put more colorless into it, and then you can tap it for one of any color
Chilling
you want.
out under the dark depths. It's Tap Tap Concede.
You want to move your pop screen like way closer to your mic there, so
I'll
you can
move you closer to my.
so you can get close
pop
into the
screen.
microphone.
Get right
You
up
wanna
in
be-
your
you
mic
wanna be like
face, Joe.
brushing it with your face. Hey everybody, welcome to Tap Tap Concede. Graham here, as usual, also with let's go down the line.
Meow.
Kathleen and
James.
and Alex. Great.
1 for 3. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good ratio. We solicited some topics to discuss from you on our Twitter today. But first,
We roll the giant dice of
we
doom.
didn't do one last week. We're going to crack a pack. You see
I
here
haven't rolled it.
our pile
care.
of
Wow, thanks, James.
our pile of packs. We still have, I think, like 5 packs of Homelands in there.
That's so boring.
We'll
we need to get those out.
We'll get
I
through
can't.
there.
Have we cracked a single? We've done like one. Haven't we?
We did one like 2 episodes ago.
yeah, it was
I wasn't
terrible.
there.
So, all right,
So,
James, go for it.
Roll. Hey, look, we rolled a 2.
James
Roll
just
properly.
wants to
I will-
open future.
I want to open future site. Okay, here you go.
Go
This will
for
be
it.
so funny if I roll it too.
11.
11. Let's see what
Didn't
that.
get
I
there.
don't know what any of them are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Ice Age.
No.
Ice Age.
Okay, that's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
It's close
we
to the
could
worst.
open a Jester's cap,
Ugh.
which is maybe
so
the worst.
This Tap Tap Concede features a new off camera tech, the disembodied voice of Paul.
Hello, this is me. I am disembodied and also the voice of Paul.
Yeah, Paul is sitting off camera for Tap Tap now so that he can make cards appear without having someone on camera be sort of awkwardly fumbling around with the keyboard the whole time.
Hooray.
So.
All right, what we got?
Force Void.
What?
Force Void.
Okay.
It casts for 2 and a blue. It's an interrupt.
Cool.
Okay. Counter target spell unless that spell's caster pays an additional 1 colorless.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the worst force spike ever.
Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep.
Well, that's not quite as bad as I thought.
Okay, do you draw a card if they pay the 1?
I feel like you still get the
yeah,
card
you
draw.
draw a card regardless.
This is before they had proper cantrips, and you had like a cantrip on layaway.
Yeah, there was a lot of ones. I think there's a lot of cards in this set that are like do a thing and then draw a card next turn.
Yeah,
and
eventually.
it's the next upkeep.
Yeah.
So presumably you're casting that on your opponent's turn, then you get to draw 2 cards.
Absolutely. And you cast this when they you don't hold this. You cast this as soon as they tap out to cast anything.
Yeah.
You just use it for tempo.
Speaking of
And that's not bad.
cantrips, there's all the cantrip auras in Theros and Born of the Gods, and I totally goozled myself the other day.
Ruh-roh.
I was like, okay, I'm not sure what I want to do this turn, but I'm going to play this. First thing I'm going to do is see what I draw off this Dragon's Mantle. So I'll cast this Dragon's Mantle on my Spirit of the Labyrinth, and nothing happened. Why didn't I draw a card? Why didn't...
Idiot.
Oh, Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Yep.
Damn.
Dominated.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here.
Players can't draw additional cards, is what that does. Withering Wisps.
Ooh,
Withering Wisps.
that's actually a good one, if I recall.
1 black for an enchantment. At the end of any turn, if there are no creatures in play, bury Withering Wisps. For 1 black, Withering Wisps deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. You cannot spend more black in this way each turn than the number of snow-covered swamps you control.
This card is actually a totally sweet less expensive Pestilence effect.
Yeah.
It's the same card. It costs 1 colorless less, and like with the caveat of you having to use snowlands.
So you can, and you don't have to use the lands, but you can't do it more than the number of snow swamps you have.
So if you have no snow-colored swamps, you can't
use
do
it.
Yeah. So this is a card that I have seen played in Highlander, specifically in mono black mid range.
Yeah, because I mean, people run snow-covered swamps just for diversity.
Well, I mean,
Hey, Alex.
sometimes. Hey, what's up?
Speaking of which, what's your Highlander deck right now?
Mono black.
Mono black aggro.
Yeah.
Do you have a Knight of Stromgald?
I might.
You probably should.
Let me see.
He's a 2/1 for black. He has protection from white. For a single black, he gets first strike until end of turn. And for double black, he gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Man, the original Pump Knights.
Pump Knights.
Oh yeah, I totally do have one of those guys.
Swole.
But this guy was part of. I think he was part of the Summer of Necropotence deck.
Oh,
like that was one of the win conditions. It's like you just drew 1 million cards
the Black
and played
Summer.
out these Pump Knights.
Yeah.
He's good. That guy's perfectly good.
Ooh,
So far, this is a pretty good pack, actually.
this card seems sweet. Stampede.
Rawr.
Yeah.
Is it an overrun?
Kinda, but it's instant speed.
Ooh.
It's a very, very small overrun, but it is instant. So it's 1 green
Okay.
for an instant. All attacking creatures get +1/+0 and trample until end of turn.
That's not that bad.
That seems pretty sweet, actually.
I mean, you're a little hampered because it's double green, and like, what kind of green deck is holding up 3, right?
It is a surprise, though.
It
I
does,
mean, it is a
it
surprise.
does have buffaloes in it, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're using it to attack, right? You're like, swing wheel on my guys, and they're like,
Okay, my combat
make,
math is
make these
fine, and
blocks,
you're like,
chump with these guys, and you're like, well, suddenly they'll have trample, so eat it.
Eat a dirk.
This is bad.
You're buffalo
A Darkar Unicorn.
Uh-oh.
1 white for a 2/2,
Wow, not a lot of splashable stuff in
which I guess is okay.
Does it fly?
Nope, it's a unicorn.
Not a Pegasus.
It's worse than a gray ochre.
But you can tap to add either blue or blue and a colorless to your mana pool.
What?
This mana is usable only for cumulative upkeep.
Both of them, or
Either.
add either blue or blue in one color.
Hey Paul, what's the oracle text on this?
weird?
The one redeeming feature of this card, nice Quentin Hoover art.
True.
The Oracle text, it's about the same, except they actually have the 1 colorless and 1. But it's, tap to add 1 blue or 1 colorless and 1 to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to pay cumulative upkeep costs.
That's
Welp.
so bad.
Terrible.
And of course, the option to do blue or blue and 1 was because of mana burn.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Awkward.
I like that they actually had to spell out 1 colorless mana before that.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, well.
Shambling Strider
Rawr.
is.
Seems like another rawr.
is
More
a-
like-
it is. He's a big beefer. He's a 5/5 for 4 green.
Okay,
So he's
not
a
bad.
5/5 for the cost of a Vulpine Goliath, which is a 6/5 trample from Theros. But this guy has an activated ability.
This guy's from the olden times, so 5/5 for 6 is good.
That's true, and he does not have trample. He has an activated ability for red and green.
Okay.
He gets +1/-1 until end of turn,
So he turns into a 6/4.
Okay.
or more.
Or more.
There's
you can,
no limit on that.
Yeah, you can pump them down to what, a 9-1?
9/1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of mana on hand. That's 8 mana.
So pay 8 mana for that to make him a 9/1, and then pay 3 more for Stampede. And then he's a 10/1 with trample.
I'm loving the art on this guy.
Yeah, it's old school Doug Schuler art.
I'm stuck in the snow.
Alex,
Yeah.
are you experiencing fear?
Uh-oh. It's just fear, isn't it?
Fear. Black, enchant creature. Target creature cannot be blocked except by
It's fear.
creatures that are
Yeah.
black or
The card
artifact
fear
creatures.
grants fear.
Yeah.
And this is the worst artwork of this
It
card
looks like it
that's
was
ever been
drawn
printed.
by, with markers.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the same guy that did the art for the Elvish Healer. Like, it looks like it was drawn with, just felt markers.
yeah,
Yep.
that is the one you. Paul.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
real bad.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you could say it
not
might be
even-
Copics, but it's
no,
not.
not
He
even
did
Copics.
a bad job. You can see, it's lighter in some parts. You're supposed to go back over it, buddy, so you get, even coverage.
Buddy.
They didn't pay much back then.
No.
Yeah, but it's a matter of pride, James.
Foxfire.
Sorry, I When I do art, I do it with markers.
I've never seen this card. Everyone's favorite browser, Foxfire.
It looks like a browser. It's got like a logo.
2 and a green for an instant.
That's the right one, Paul.
Untap target attacking.
Same artist?
No. Margaret. No, this is better art. Margaret Organ Keene is the artist.
Mm-hmm.
So
it also looks like markers, though.
instant. 2 and a green. Untap target attacking creature.
Okay.
That creature neither receives nor deals damage in combat this turn. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's
So it's a
upkeep.
one-time like Mazavith that cantrips.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it to your
Okay.
opponent's creature.
Well, no, that's the point.
The
is
card is very. The art is weird.
The art is weird.
It looks like a fantasy bookmark.
It does.
Yeah.
It's been
Okay.
Like-
Oracle to prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that
that
makes
makes a
sense.
difference. But
Yeah, it's not quite Mazavith,
But the thing is,
basically
it doesn't
the same
take.
thing.
So if it's prevent all damage, that means it doesn't take it out of combat. So you can't use it on your opponent's creature to like punch in then, because it still blocks. It just
Yeah.
doesn't take it.
So
It
it's-
sucks.
Yeah, it's not very
Ooh,
good.
speaking of being removed from combat, brief aside, we had when James and I were getting our ass absolutely handed to us in a draft on stream the other day, our opponent made an amusing play where they attacked with a bunch of creatures, including Karametra, who was active as a creature. But when our opponent attacked, the Ordeal of Heliod activated, popped, and fell off, dropping our opponent's devotion, meaning Karametra ceased being a creature and fell and fell out of combat.
Yeah.
Our
still
opponent still
completely crushed us,
absolutely
yeah.
destroyed us, but that was pretty funny.
That's really funny.
All right, what up?
Awkwardness.
Cooperation
Oh.
makes it happen.
Yeah.
Cooperation.
I like the art on this card
Working
actually.
together. Banding. 2 and a white.
Phil Foglio?
Enchant creature. Target
Or
creature
Folio?
gets banding.
Yeah.
That's the right one.
They're bros.
Speaking of...
There's only one variation of art in this set, isn't
yeah.
there?
Yeah, it's just the one from Ice Age.
Yeah.
Speaking of... that's bad, by the way. Speaking of sweet Quentin Hoover art, Balduvan Shaman. The 1/1 for a single blue. I'm going to read this text as written on the card.
Oh no.
Tap. Permanently change the text of target white enchantment you control that does not have cumulative upkeep by replacing all instances of one color word with another. For example, you may change counter black spells to counter blue spells. Balduvan Shaman cannot change mana symbols. That enchantment now has cumulative upkeep 1.
Paul, hit us with the Oracle text.
No. That's the worst.
exactly the same. Except it now is a description of what cumulative upkeep 1 is.
Oh,
All
Does,
right.
does it still say for example?
Yep.
Wow.
It does,
Wow,
Except
what a
that's
stupid
that's
card.
in like italic reminder text.
Right, of course.
But
I
yeah,
mean, they
it's-
still do that on some cards.
what
the
is
for
this
example.
guy doing?
It's
I don't
basically
even
you can
know.
tell it's going to be
Mystical
bad
shit.
when they have to switch to the smaller font size.
Yep.
So it's like you change your circle of protection black to circle of protection green.
But then you're
Gains
still.
cumulative upkeep.
Ah.
But
It's
then you
only-
pay for the cumulative upkeep with your unicorn.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
wow.
You're a dark card.
No.
Getting sick
Co-
combos.
combo. All right.
Wow.
Blue white aura control.
Pyroblast.
I don't remember if this.
Instant for a single red. Counter target spell if it is blue, or
Oh,
destroy
right.
target permanent if it is blue.
This is really good sideboard tech.
Yeah, Pyroblast is sweet.
That's really good, actually.
Oh.
There's a small. Sorry, just briefly.
Okay.
There's a slight difference between Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast, and I don't remember what it is because they're almost the same card.
It's the wording. It's it actually is relevant whether it's counter target blue spell or counter target spell if it is blue,
Really?
or the permanent if it is blue, or counter target blue permanent. It depends on they can actually change the color of the permanent in response.
But nobody does.
Or if
I
you're-
think-
if you're using like a painter's servant or something.
I think
that
there's
changes the
something-
color of everything in
There's
the
a
deck, that would
yeah.
do it too, yeah.
Someone in the comments will know better than we, but there's a reason that's relevant, and it's a very stupid corner case.
All I want to know is which one is actually objectively better.
And this seems really
We've talked
good.
about this. We've actually mentioned this before, I think, on the podcast.
I think so, yeah.
Well,
All right.
But it is that if something changes the color of the card, it can make a difference. But
All right, we got there.
oh,
We got there, everybody.
what did we do?
Brainstorm.
Oh
Hey, we got a $1.50 card.
You talk about
Really? Only $1.50?
Yeah.
What a shame. Oh well. Still, Single blue, instant. Draw 3 cards. Semicolon. Then, comma, take 2 cards from your hand and put them on top of your library in any order.
I love this
Man,
card.
okay, cards that are relevant.
This
Brainstorm.
card.
Yeah.
Restricted in vintage.
In case you're unfamiliar with Brainstorm, the reason that that's so good is because it's not just look at the top 3 cards of your library, rearrange them, and draw 1. You draw all 3, and then you put any 2 from your hand back on top of the deck.
And then you use
you
a
can
snap
you can
land.
keep all 3 cards that you draw. Yeah, exactly. The reason that's relevant, for example, in Modern, is you draw 3, then you put back
Well,
2 that
can't
you
play
don't.
that in Modern.
Oh right, sorry.
But in Legacy.
Sorry. Anyway, you draw 3. You put back 2 you don't need. Then you crack a fetch land, and then you've shuffled away the cards you don't want. And then you can draw better stuff, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's weird because you can play 4 copies of that card in Legacy, and any deck that plays blue does basically.
Yeah.
And in Vintage, you can play 1.
Yeah.
Because it's too good.
Well, I've used that. We did a cube draft at Lady Planeswalkers, and I drafted a pretty good blue-green deck, but every time I brainstormed, and I got to use it a couple times.
It's just so
over the
good.
course, it was just like I cannot overestimate how good it was to draw 3 cards and pitch back 2 things I didn't need when the things I picked up and replaced them with were the things that were going to win me the match anyhow. So who cares?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have any fetch lands though, but I mean, still, it was so good.
What card did you name check a couple cards ago, Alex? When we were talking about Balduvan Shaman,
I don't remember.
Circle of Protection Black.
Oh no! No!
Boo.
So it's an enchantment for 1 and a white, and for a single mana, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you from target black source
Well,
this turn.
you've got a straight combo in this pack. You get the Balduvan Shaman, the Unicorn, and the stupid Circle of Protection.
Oh, and if a source deals damage to you more than once in the turn, you may pay 1 each time to prevent the damage.
Yeah. All right.
Mystic Remora.
I think this one's actually not bad.
Single blue for an enchantment. Not a creature, it's an enchantment. Cumulative upkeep 1. Whenever target opponent successfully casts a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. That player may pay 4 colorless to counter this effect.
Yeah. That
Wow.
Seems
That
decent.
seems good, actually.
There's a card that's like that can play as commander deck. It's like Rhystic Study or something.
Yeah.
That one is 2 and a blue for an enchantment, and every time a player
Someone
casts a
plays
spell,
a spell.
you
See-
can draw unless they counter it by paying.
So,
By
okay.
paying 1, I think.
Hold on,
1
I
or
have
2.
a rules question.
What's up?
Okay, cumulative upkeep 1. So
Yep.
that means I have to pay 1 more in my upkeep every time it comes around to me, right?
Yeah.
So this card is not great against your opponent because it means you're gonna get like a couple extra cards, and then you're probably not gonna want to pay the cumulative upkeep. But so good in like a 5-player commander game because
When you don't have to, because you're not going to have to pay the upkeep
No,
until
you
it
just-
wheels around.
Yeah, until it wheels around, maybe you don't even pay the upkeep. You just get 5 cards off it. or 4.
Well,
Not even
they're
kidding.
non-creature.
You could draw a
but-
lot of cards.
Yeah, you have
Like especially
absolutely could.
early game.
And when you
multiplayer.
cast a non-creature spell, that happens all the time in Commander.
Why is it a fish?
I don't know.
Don't ask
It's
questions.
just leeching cards.
What's
off.
our rare?
This is not the rare.
Oh.
I don't know which one the rare is. We've already found the rare.
Brainstorm? Isn't
No,
No.
Brainstorm's-
Brainstorm's uncommon.
at least I think it's uncommon.
I have it right here. It's
I
uncommon.
doubt the rare is.
Oh wait, no. Brainstorm is common. Never mind.
I doubt the rare is Shatter.
Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just 1 in a red,
Oh,
destroy
poor
target
shit.
artifact. And this art is clearly the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz with a skull for a face
Exploding.
being destroyed.
Wow.
That
Yep.
would not get past the art department nowadays, I don't think.
No.
I don't understand why it did in 1995.
Pretty weird.
I wonder what our rare was.
I don't know.
It
might-
it might have been.
It's probably
Withering
like
Wisps.
Withering Wisps. Yeah, I was going to say. It's probably
All right,
Withering
so what do you
Wisps.
guys take?
Brainstorm.
Yeah, Brainstorm. All right, so say Brainstorm isn't here, right?
None. I burn the pack and move on to the next one.
Probably take Knight of Stromgald.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
fine.
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
Knight is pretty good, but you're hard into mono black.
That's
yeah,
fine.
but it's good, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like the best creature in here. All right, so say the
Wheel,
Brainstorm and
Wheel
the,
of Fear.
probably actually.
Nobody's gonna play Fear.
So say the Brainstorm and the Knight are gone.
Well, I don't know.
What? No, that's not how first picks work.
Yeah. So let's say all the good cards are gone.
Yeah. What shit do you take?
Do you want Circle of Protection black or
Or
Molduvan
Shatter?
Shaman?
Yeah.
You know, it's synergy right
I'm
there.
gonna take Cooperation.
All right.
Oh
That was Crack It Back. Good old Ice Age. There's
I
still
would
one
take
more pack.
Pyroblast.
There's still one more pack of Ice Age in that big stack.
Hooray!
The Wisp was an uncommon.
Which one's the rare then?
I don't know.
Was Ice Age one of the ones where you don't necessarily get a rare?
I
wow.
don't think so.
That'd be super
'Cause
harsh.
Brainstorm is a
Common.
as
It might have
well.
been,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Maybe it's the Mystic Remora.
or Force Void.
I mean, it seems weird enough that it could be a rare.
Who knows?
Anyways.
If you know, text who gives a crap to
I can find out.
LRR MTG.
Okay. Well,
All right,
Paul's
Paul's
going to
gonna work.
And we,
Disembodio, go to work.
So we did a mailbag one sort of last week, but this time we were like, what do you guys want us to talk about? We asked on the at LRRMTG Twitter.
People say butts.
And they didn't say butts, although butts could come up with it. Some people were asking sort of like for some behind the scenes stories for Friday nights. And just sort of like what that behind the scenes is like. Alex is raising his hand. What's up?
Saul opening a foil Mutavault.
Oh yeah. So we did when we were doing I think the episode is actually just called pre-releasing. It's the episode surrounding the M14 pre-release.
Yeah.
We got some M14 product a couple days early, and we sort of faked up a pre-release event with a couple of the local players whom we trust. I mean, the set had been spoiled at that point, so it's not like any
Had it been?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think all of the sets
I don't think all
spoiled,
this-
actually, because we couldn't let anybody keep the cards or anything.
Well, obviously,
Yeah,
you
there
couldn't
was a
let
couple cards.
we obviously
maybe.
couldn't let anyone keep the cards that day because the set hadn't been released. But anyway, there's NDAs and all that stuff, as you would expect. But the fact is, if we want an episode to come out before the set is released that involves cards in the set, we need access to the cards before they come out. So.
Yeah.
But we basically provided everybody with enough cards to make a M14 sealed deck so that they could be playing in the background while we were shooting the rest of the stuff. And then everybody who, like all the extras, we let them keep the cards, again, after the set was released. We were like, okay, put them all in a thing, write your name on it, we're taking them back. We're going to put them under lockdown.
In fact, for that we didn't actually have enough product to
we
give out everybody. So we played, basically what we did is we brought everybody in and we gave everybody 6 packs to make a sealed deck and said, just mill about, play, don't get too loud. We'll basically film around you. We'll put you in the background as needed, but just here's some cards and make a deck and play. Sort of manage yourselves. But because we didn't have enough, it was 3 packs of M14 and 3 packs of M13.
Yeah.
Which made for pretty interesting decks.
It did, actually.
It was kind of neat.
And so we were filming. We were like, okay, before anyone opens them, we want to get some shots of packs being opened.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm close up on this. Okay, go ahead, open your pack. And our buddy Saul, who's been in a couple of the videos, cracked the first one. First one we opened, and it was a foil Mutavault.
Yeah.
Which was pretty sweet. Which is a lot more relevant now than it was at the time.
Yes.
It's still pretty great.
Yeah.
Really? That was our rare.
Stampede was the rare.
Stampede was the rare.
Thanks, Disembodio.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
That's so sad. Okay.
So that was fun. I mean, there's lots of situations with someone was asking, how far in advance do you get the things? Like, it's not like we're getting, like, we're like, obviously, because there's people in the comments on YouTube who are like, how do they already have the cards? And it's like,
We
guys,
work for Wizards.
this video is on the official Wizards channel. We're doing this
For them.
Wizards.
Also, furthermore, they don't print them the night before, right?
Yeah. Okay. I would say the earliest we have gotten cards.
Probably was that M14 one, actually.
I was actually going to say, was it not Born of the Gods? I feel like it was Born of the Gods.
Yeah.
Because Born of the Gods, we almost got about a week in advance,
Yeah.
and we got it where the whole set still hadn't been spoiled.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
in a situation
uncommon
like
for
that,
us,
yeah, it's pretty rare. But
Yeah.
but we've we're very obviously we're under NDA, and if if there's a leak as a result of us, then it's our ass.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very careful to keep everything on lockdown because we enjoy working with Wizards and we want them to continue trusting us. But the fact is, if we are doing a video that comes out before launch day,
or even day
or
of,
before the pre-release,
yeah,
we need to have the product here so we can actually shoot with it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, yeah. So we're always in a situation where we're typically shooting it, in a situation where a video necessitates cards that haven't been released yet. We're usually shooting
about a week out,
the weekend before. Like,
so if game day is. If game day or
for all the Heroes Path videos,
yeah,
right, those all come out on the Wednesday, so the Tuesday night,
yeah,
before the thing. So we're usually shooting the weekend prior.
Yeah,
we'll shoot on Saturday, maybe Sunday, because we have to arrange with the local card shop to get in there, and then we'll do a rough cut on the Monday and send it in to Wizards so they can take a look at it, and then if there's any changes, which is pretty uncommon because they approve the script.
Yeah.
Then we get them the final cut on Tuesday afternoon, and then it goes up Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We are definitely. It always makes me feel a little bit unprofessional, but like the window for writing those episodes and filming them and editing them is very, very small. Because it
has to be.
We don't get a lot of stuff ahead of time.
I think that's a good thing. I think that actually makes it more professional because we're so good at it.
Well, we're very fast. Sometimes I wish I had more time to sort of like, when you do stuff like, after the fact and, there's already jokes and established like card interactions, there's more opportunities for humor to be found.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know, like I don't want to make it sound like we're just sort of like firing this out in an afternoon because obviously for this batch of 3 Heroes Path things, we know what we want to happen for the
plot
story, which is, the other videos don't have like an ongoing arc, but for the Heroes Path ones there is, and we know what we want to happen in those over the episodes from that perspective. But when we don't actually get like spoilers ahead of when you do, except for in instances where we actually get the cards, like I said, and so we're sort of like, well, we know what we want to happen, but we also want to have a couple scenes in here where there's funny stuff. So let's wait to see what kind of cards are coming out. And then they talk about the tribute and the inspired mechanic. And we're like, oh, okay, so we can do a thing with this. And then we get like Alex and Cam talking about tribute and inspired and stuff like that.
How the writing process is basically shaken down for that is because obviously like I am sort of involved in plot-related things. Typically the space... And we don't want the videos to go too long. And you've got to get to a certain goal point for the video because it is an arc we're doing in 9 pieces. Typically the space for like ridiculous card interactions and making jokes about cards is now falling into Cam and Alex being, the comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
The Try and Abed. Or Cam is like, oh, we're not Try and Abed. We're Pam and Cheryl. And I'm just like, you're Cam and Alex.
Wait, does that make me Cheryl?
I have no idea.
Yes.
I don't...
Where's my glue at?
Yeah.
Someone was asking specifically about shooting at YJ or Yellow Jacket Comics, which is our local card shop, which you will have seen
The Wige.
in the thing. We
Oh,
know
no.
The why?
no,
Stop
let's
calling
not
it the
make the
Wige.
Wige happen.
It's already happened.
No,
That wasn't even us who
Let's
came up
stop
with that.
supporting it.
was it
Meet
not?
me
That
at
yeah,
the
that has
Wige.
existed longer than we have.
Oh, that's a shame. So anyway, yeah, that's our local shop. And when we first started doing Friday nights, like the first season of 4, and then even when we started doing when we did the second season after that long sort of like year and a half break, Yellow Jacket has gotten busier, and they now have something happening every day of the week.
Yeah.
Like every night, like after regular business hours, there's something going on. And so typically we can't get in there to shoot until
Either very, very late
like after 9 o'clock at night
or before 10
or,
a.m.
yeah, before 10. And the before 10 means someone has to come in early.
Yes.
And obviously we pay them for their time, but
still.
I mean, the after 9 means somebody has to stay late, right? Like, it definitely got trickier filming there between the first season and this season that we're in right
But-
now.
Yeah.
we but I mean, we like them. B, they're really nice guys, and we have a really good relationship with them. And obviously, they're in the videos. But also, I don't know where else we would do it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's been good advertising for the store. Apparently, people do recognize the Wige.
They say they've had some people come in and be like, hey, this is Yellow Jacket. Like, they've known and they've made it a goal.
Yeah.
Other people have come in and looked around and been like, this place looks familiar. Holy crap, it's that place.
Yeah.
And they have had a couple people ask if they actually have a sealed box of Portal 3.
Yeah.
Which they do not. Let's put that out there right now. Yellow Jacket does not have a box of P3K in a safe somewhere.
So somebody
in the back.
is like packing a suitcase right now, listening to this podcast.
I'm a buy
Being
that.
like, shit.
And they're like, oh,
Oh, well.
taking their underpants out.
But for the recent one when we were doing the Hero's Path where Kathleen's fighting Nelson with the Minotaur deck, they were doing a draft in there, and it was their Sunday afternoon or their Sunday evening draft will be over by about 9, at which point everyone will leave, unless there's enough people to draft again.
Yeah.
Which was the case in this instance. So, which is fine because it meant like there was some like murmuring background noise in the store, which was good because it made it sound like there was actually people in the store.
Yeah.
But so there was a full draft going on, and Nelson was just there working and doing like standard testing. So he's like, I'm just going to test with this guy's deck, and you let me know when you're ready, and then I'll come over and shoot the Minotaur thing. So which that one specifically, I really wanted to, because for the Hydra, we were like, yeah, Kathleen's doing Mono Black. This is funny. And then Mono Black Devotion became
A thing.
an actual relevant deck in Standard.
Yeah.
It's not just funny, it's good
yeah.
too.
Not because of us, obviously.
No.
But, just so you don't think we're trying to claim that. But obviously.
I mean, it made it fantastic, though, because we could have Cam then reference it in another episode.
It worked out really, really well. So for this one, I was like, okay, well, rather than just whatever, we should show an actual. We should really show the Minotaur fight with an actual competitive mono black standard deck and the cards that you would expect to have in that. So like Desecration Demon and obviously Grey Merchant. That works really well. That Gary actually became standard relevant. And what else? Ultimate Price and Pack Rat. So it's by the way. Pretty positive that that's exactly how that matchup would go with the standard devotion or the standard mono black devotion versus the Minotaurs.
I don't have a standard deck right now, but I want to just go get like an event deck or something like that. I don't play a lot of standard. I don't have a lot of time to play standard, unfortunately. But my God, that Minotaur deck, the Horde deck, if your local game store still has it, go test it out if you have a standard deck or something. It is really, really fast.
So like probably 2/3 of the deck are Minotaurs who
that have haste and can attack.
There's one guy that doesn't have haste, but all the Minotaurs attack every turn of Fable, and they almost all have haste. And the way the Minotaur deck plays is every turn it reveals 2 cards and put them into play.
Ugh.
So it just makes more and more Minotaurs. Unless one of the cards it reveals is an artifact, because there's a bunch of artifacts in the deck.
You're like, oh, finally, thank God, it's not more Minotaurs.
Literally every artifact. There's different ones that give you different, they're called heroes rewards if you destroy the artifact. But the ability of the artifact, every single one of them is the Minotaur deck reveals an additional card. So if you go like reveal 2, it's a Minotaur and a guy, then next turn it's reveal 3. And then reveal 3 and reveal 3.
In our sort of like play testing with it, actually, because obviously to film the montage we actually had to do it where Nelson was flipping over cards and all that stuff, and just like running it through like 4 or 5 turns just to do that shoot. It was pretty reliably getting up to spewing 3 Minotaurs a turn, and then once it was spewing 4, it is very, very aggressive. I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
It works real well. Eesh,
I like that it sort of has an inbuilt wrath, though. Like the deck can wrath itself.
Really?
Nice.
There's the Scourge of Keranos is a sorcery that the Horde deck has, which is 3 damage to each creature, which kills
most of the Minotaurs.
Most of the Minotaurs as well.
Yeah. There's one Minotaur type in the deck, which I think there's only like 3 of them, and it's a 5/4.
But
it comes in tapped and attacks each turn of Fable. But so that one won't die, but all the other Minotaurs will die to that sort of burn wrath, which was great because we used it in the video to wipe out the pack rats, which is a perfectly actually feasible thing. Like all the interactions in there totally would have worked. So
I really so like I said, if your local game store has that, go and try it. Super fun, really hard.
All right, what else we got?
Trick asked who the handsome guy that we work with at Wizards is.
And we said Mark
Aaron,
Rosewater.
Mark Rosewater, Aaron Forsyth, Greg Collins, good-looking guy.
Greg is good looking, actually.
Dan Emmons is a good-looking guy. Lee Sharp, I like Lee Sharp. Matt Tabak he's a pretty cool dude.
He just joined the tweet chain because
okay.
So Trick said that, and then our friend Mike Robles, who used to be the community manager at Wizards, was like, responded to the tweet and was like, well, now Trick, I don't work there anymore. And Mike was instrumental in getting us in the door for the first place, which we're very appreciative of. And then Trick, of course, was a very big part of bringing us back after because we did the 4, and then we were like, we want to do more, and they were like, great, we'll get back to you. And then we just sort of didn't hear anything for a while because there was just internal discussions that had to happen. And then finally Trick was like, all right, let's do this. I'm sorry I hit the table. Yeah, they've been a pleasure to work with. And so now Matt Tabak, the rules manager, has responded to the tweet chain and is like, did someone say, did somebody call me?
Yeah.
So what we're
answer all of them.
So answer all of them.
They're all very attractive people.
But Trick is the prettiest.
He's also the tallest.
We report directly to him. No,
Tabak. Yeah, Tabak.
Tabak is huge. But seriously, both those guys are they're taller than you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
so they're like at least
it's
6'5"?
Crazy. It's if you put it's so weird when there's like at the Community Cup when you had like Trick and Matt Tabak, the rules manager, and Nate Holt from Walk the Plains, and Marshall,
that guy's
and me
enormous.
in the room. And I am not used to being the shortest person out of 5 guys. It was really weird.
So, because for reference, Graham is 6'3".
Yeah.
Marshall is 6'4".
I think.
No, he's taller than that.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he like 6'5"?
He's got to be taller.
What I'm saying is they're all massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holt is insanely tall. Because I heard he's tall, and I met him for the first time.
He's very lithe, too.
PAX Prime, and I was just like, I had a drink, so I was like, holy balls, you're huge. And he's just like, haha, because he had a toga on. It was very dramatic.
I don't know, because I know that like when we're doing sketches and stuff, it sucks for example, for Paul to shoot the camera at my head height. So I don't know how Sean deals with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess he just like puts it on his head. This is Sean Kornhauser who shoots Walk the Plains.
because you don't want to you shoot up at somebody. It's a really unflattering angle. It's
look at my chin.
I was helping. This is a very unrelated thing, but I was helping Ash with her Patreon video, and Steve shot a little insert of him waving so he could be in the video too, because obviously he's in Toronto. And I told him to reshoot it because Steve is fairly tall as well, and the person who shot it was obviously much shorter than Steve. So I sent him a nice note saying, could you reshoot this? Because this is literally a one-way trip to Double Chinsville you're on. Like, politely. Don't shoot up. That's the moral of the story.
So someone was asking a couple questions, one of which was what time frame do you have for getting to shoot with the product for Friday nights, which we've already addressed. And the other one was what sort of input does WotC have with sort of initial ideas and stuff like that. And I've actually talked about this on the Magic subreddit just in a couple comment threads, because when the episodes get posted, people give feedback, and I was sort of like, well, actually, it works like this. Because Wizards does not do, like, there are the discussion of, like, well, the Commander 2013 set is coming out, so you guys ready to do that Commander episode? That sort of discussion doesn't happen. When we did a Commander episode when Commander 2013 came out, because Commander 2013 was coming out and we wanted to do an episode about Commander.
We love Commander, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, like Wizards doesn't like flat tell us there's this product coming out and you have to do an episode about this product. But that often happens, which they're just as happy about, and we're just as happy to do as well, because we want to do episodes about the things that
are relevant to you people,
that are relevant to you, the viewers who are into Magic. So, I mean, I guess functionally the end result is the same. But I don't know. I really enjoy working with Wizards, and it's from a creative standpoint, they're a pleasure to work with because of stuff like that. And I just like people to know that they're not like,
you have to do this episode,
and this is the joke you should put.
Here are the talking points.
In fact, the next episode of Friday Nights doesn't revolve around anything.
Nope,
it's just stuff.
Series about nothing.
It's a series of
Yeah,
tunes.
yeah. It was at GP Calgary that somebody was like, "You guys are like the Seinfeld of magic," because the episodes they're not about anything. It's just about you being weird with your playgroup. And I was like, I will take that. I will take that compliment. That is,
You're like
love it.
Seinfeld, only top decking.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a series called Top
right.
Decking.
I don't
Different
think I've ever
other
seen
magic series.
Other people.
So they do, of course, get script approval in that we'll write the script and send it into Trick, and he and a couple other guys will look at it and be like, okay, here's this. I don't know if this works, so if you could change that, that'd be great. But again, they don't say this, because we talked about this in the commentary for the It's Magic DVD, is that there's a situation where, for whatever reason, because they're a big company, there's a certain thing that we can't talk about in an official Wizards video, and they won't say, don't say that, say this. They will say, you can't say that, can you change it? And so we'll come up with the change. But I mean, because again, we talked about this on the commentary track on the DVD, that in the first season they didn't, and we were like, do you want script approval? And they were like, this, and this was different people we were working with at the time too. I don't think any of them are still there anymore, actually. They were like, no, we want to stay hands off. And we're like, all right, so we shot everything. And then they were like, okay, cool. So we have some changes. And we're like,
Yeah.
no. So honestly, we would much rather that they have script approval, because it's so much easier to change text
Yeah, then
than it is to
Video.
reshoot.
Oh, reshoots are slow you right down. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is that when we first started writing Friday Nights and working with Wizards, we were obviously just writing the stuff we would normally write, which is fantastic, but we're, used to the internet. We're used to sort of an older demographic, sort of like late teens, mid to late teens is sort of like when I think most people start watching our videos, or at least
It's not true.
That's not true. But like when people are like, oh, I started watching your videos, like the earliest I've ever heard is like sort of like mid to late teens kind of thing. There's like occasionally people who are like, oh, I've been watching you guys since I was like 12, but I would say that's uncommon.
We've heard younger than that.
But
But
since we've been working with Wizards, we've seen a lot more like people who are younger than that. And when you were at the GP in Vancouver, you had like small children who were like sub 10 recognize
God, that was
you guys.
adorable.
And we didn't realize we'd have that kind of audience. And so some of the jokes that we had written for that first series of Friday Nights were not appropriate for children. And I'm glad they were cut out.
Well, yeah, but they're on the DVD again. I don't want to sound like I'm shilling for the DVD, but the at the GP, it was amazing. These two kids, like very young children, very small, were like, look, that's Graham Stark. and the one that I loved was, look, that's Cameron Lauder.
Oh my god, that's so adorable.
And I don't think Cam heard them, but I told him afterwards, and he was like, I think he said, what did Cam say in perfect Cam style? I think he just said it was alarming.
Yeah. Sounds like Cam.
Yeah. But it was like, my God, those kids are like 6,
Well,
maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. They were very small. I think it was great that they were there at the GP, but
Delightful. All right.
that was not the kid whose dreams I crushed in that game that we talked about a couple episodes ago. Turn 1 thought sees you on a multi 5. Sorry.
oh, the dirt.
I'm such a scrub.
You son of a...
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any sort of other entertaining behind the scenes things that have come up. Oh,
We keep writing cats into our videos.
actually we did. Well, that just sort of became a running gag of the Hero's Path episodes, but because this will go up before you see it. Yes.
Yeah, it
we
will.
can tease that. So we were in that Walk the Plains episode for GP Vancouver.
Yep.
But Walk the Plains, or Nate, is we also shot a scene with him at GP Vancouver that'll be in the next Friday Nights.
Oh,
So it would have been
crossover.
the only reason it wasn't in the Friday Nights earlier was because we were doing all through February we were doing 3 episodes of the Hero's Path, and the next full episode of Friday Nights will be out on the
17th.
Yep.
On the
If you have any other questions about Friday Nights, hit us up on Twitter.
We should mention that there is extensive behind-the-scenes footage.
Oh my God, yes, we've been
of
shooting.
Friday Night since the very first episode of the new season. I mean, technically, we're in season 3 now.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a DVD of the season 2.
Yeah.
In heavy air quotes. We need to put that together pretty soon, and that'll be everything from the return.
Yep.
Up to A Very Friday Night.
Right.
But not including the Heroes Path stuff because we want that to all be on the same
DVD.
volume.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd be weird. So that'll be on the next one. But we'll be putting that together
So much
sooner than
jetting.
later, hopefully.
And then hopefully on that, you'll see a pretty extensive behind-the-scenes look at all the shooting. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a lot there. So.
There's a lot of behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
Lots of derping.
enjoy that.
So much chirping.
Actually, yeah, the there's less for this one, but the speaking of A Very Friday Night, the process for getting Luis Scott Vargas to do the narration was we were talking about different people
Yep.
who we thought would be good to do the narration, such as Marshall, because of course we had the existing thing with him as the
Friday Night, or the Hero's Path.
yeah,
the
as the Oracle of Theros. And then James was like, we should just ask LSV. And he had previously, for the Masters episode, where we're dressed up in the Pro Tour jerseys,
Yep.
I had sent him a message on Twitter and was like, is there a number that's relevant for you for this thing that we're doing in an episode of Friday Nights? And he got back to me right away. So I was like, well, I mean, he might be up for it. So I messaged him and was like, hey, would you be up for doing this? And he was just like, windmill slam. He's like, absolutely. And we're like, oh,
That was easy.
well, that was easy. Sweet.
LSV, super nice guy.
He's a super nice
amazing
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very telling that what was his percentage vote for the Hall of Fame?
Like 98% or something.
yeah, because
stupid
everyone
like
likes
that.
the guy.
Yeah.
Because he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's excellent at the game. But
that
guy,
helps.
you know?
Get into
Yeah.
the, I mean, like,
That
get
helps.
into the Hall of Fame.
well, you can't be on the ballot if you haven't been good at the game. But you won't get voted in if you're an ass. I think. I could be wrong.
It's like,
Well, I mean,
Maybe there's some
okay,
there's some
Graham.
scrubs in there. I don't know the full
Graham.
I don't know the full roster.
Go become a pro Magic player and then just turn into a complete jackbutt. And then see if
It's
you
like
can.
for a long Andy Kaufman style,
Yes.
like long con.
Absolutely. The
So to
longest
do
of
this, I
cons.
have to both A, become a pro level Magic player, and B, start being an asshole to people.
I believe in you.
All right.
which of those do you think is going to be more difficult?
The
magic.
The magic, yeah. Absolutely the magic.
Just tip people.
I'll just ask
drinks
LSV
over.
to train me, and then be like, "Why do you want to do this?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to start being a bastard to people," and I'm sure he'll go for that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be like, well, okay, I guess. I mean,
Doesn't seem like
up to you.
doesn't seem like very good value.
Yeah.
I think
But he
we'll.
wouldn't be so mean as to be like, no, I'm not doing it. Right?
Because he's a nice
He's a
guy.
nice guy.
Yeah,
I feel like he's a nice enough guy not to create a monster.
I think so. Yeah.
So,
So yes, I think we'll pack it in there for this week.
yep.
So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for your questions. If there's specific stuff that you would like us to discuss in future episodes, send us ideas for show topics at the LRRMTG Twitter account, and we'll be happy to talk about them. And I think pretty soon I should do the real mythical origins of Born of the Gods episode. So I'll do that one soon. So. And yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.